네, 오늘 학교에 오자마자 그레타 툰베리의 책을 10분 동안 읽기로 하였는데요. 지금부터 한번 읽도록 하겠습니다. Almost everything is black and white. 오늘 읽을 부분은 5페이지부터 시작합니다. Declaration of Rebellion, Extinction Rebellion. When I was about 8 years old, I first heard about something called climate change. Global warming. Apparently, there was something humans had created by our way of living. I was told to turn off the lights to save energy and to recycle paper to save resources. I remember thinking that it was very strange that humans, who are an animal species among others, could be capable of changing the Earth's climate. Because if we were, and if it was really happening, we wouldn't be talking about anything else. As soon as you turned on the TV, everything would be about that. Headlines, radio, newspapers, you would never read or hear about anything else. As if there was a world war going on, but no one talked about it, ever. If burning fossil fuels was so bad that it threatened our very existence, how could we just continue like before? Why were there no restrictions? Why wasn't it made illegal? To me, that did not add up. It was too unreal. I have Asperger's syndrome, and to me, almost everything is black and white. I think in many ways that we autistic are the normal ones, and the rest of the people are pretty strange. We keep saying that climate change is an essential threat, and the most important issue of all. And yet, they just carry on like before. If the emissions have to stop, then we must stop the emissions. To me, that is black or white. There are no gray areas when it comes to survival. Either we go on as a civilization or we don't. We have to change. Countries like Sweden and the UK need to start reducing emissions by at least 15% every year to stay below a 2 Celsius degree warming target. But as the IPCC has recently stated, aiming instead of for a 1.5 Celsius degree target would significantly reduce the climate impact. But we can only imagine what that means for reducing emissions. You would think every one of our leaders and media would be talking about nothing else. But no one ever mentions it, nor does anyone ever mention anything about the greenhouse gases already locked in the system, nor the air pollution is hiding or warming. So, when we stop burning fossil fuels, we already have an extra 0.5 to 1.1 Celsius degree guaranteed. Nor does hardly anyone ever mention that we are in the midst of the sixth mass extinction, with about 200 species going extinct every single day. Furthermore, does no one ever speak about the species of equality or climate justice, clearly stated everywhere in the Paris Agreement and the Tokyo Protocol, which is absolutely necessary to make the Paris Agreement work on a global scale. That means that rich countries need to get down to zero emissions within 6 to 12 years so that people in poorer countries can heighten their standard of living by building some of the infrastructure that we have already built, such as roads, hospitals, electricity, schools, and clean drinking water. Because how can we expect countries like India or Nigeria to care about the climate crisis if we, who already have everything, doesn't care even a second about it or our actual commitment to the Paris Agreement. So, why are we not reducing our emissions? Why are they, in fact, still increasing? Are we knowingly causing a mass extinction? Are we evil? No, of course not. People keep doing what they do because the vast majority doesn't have a clue about the consequences of our everyday life. And they don't know the rapid changes required. Since, as I said before, no one talks about it. There are no headlines, no emergency meetings, no breaking news. No one is acting as if we were in crisis. Even most green politicians and climate scientists go on flying about the world, eating meat and dairy. If I live to be 100, I will be alive in the year 2103. When you think about the future today, you don't think beyond the year 2050. By then, I will, in the best case, not even have lived half of my life. What happens next? The year 2078, I will celebrate my 75th birthday. What we do or don't do right now will affect our entire life and the lives of our children and grandchildren. When school started in August this year, I decided that this was enough. I sat myself down on the ground outside the Swedish parliament. I school striked for the climate. Some people say that I should be in school instead. Some people say that I should study to become a climate scientist so that I can solve the climate crisis. But the climate crisis has already been solved. We already have all the facts and solutions. All we have to do is to wake up and change. And why should I be studying for the future? There soon will be no more when no one is doing anything whatsoever to save our future. And what is the point of learning facts within the school system when the most important fact given by the finest science of the same school system clearly mean nothing to our politicians and society? A lot of people say that Sweden is just a small country and that it doesn't matter what we do. But I think that if a few children can get the headlines all over the world just by not giving to school for a few weeks, imagine what we all could do together if we started to. Today, we use 100 million barrels of oil every day. There are no politics to change that. There are no rules to keep their oil in the ground. So, we can't save the world by playing by the rules, because the rules have to be changed. Everything needs to change, and it has to start today. So, everyone out there, it is now time for civil disobedience. It is time to rebel. Unpopular. UN Climate Change Conference. My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Sweden. I speak on behalf of climate justice now. Many people say that Sweden is just a small country and it doesn't matter what we do. But I've learned that no one is too small to make a difference. And if a few children can get headlines all over the world just by not going to school, then imagine what we could do together if we really wanted to. But to do that, we have to speak clearly, no matter how uncomfortable that may be. You only speak of green, eternal economic growth, because you are too scared of being unpopular. If only talk about moving forward with the same bad ideas that got us into this mess. Even when the only sensible thing to do is to pull the emergency brake, we are not mature enough to tell it like it is. Even the burden you leave to your children, but I don't care about being popular. I care about climate justice and the living planet. We are about to sacrifice our civilization for the opportunity of a small number of people to continue to make enormous amounts of money. We are about to sacrifice the biosphere so that rich people in countries like mine can live in luxury. But it is the suffering of the many which pay for the luxury of the few. The year 2078, I will celebrate my 75th birthday. If I have children, then maybe they will spend the day with me. Maybe they will ask about you. Maybe they will ask why you didn't do anything, while there'll still be time to act. You say that you love your children above everything else, and yet you are stealing their future. Until you start focusing on needs to be alone rather than what is politically possible, there is no hope. We cannot solve a crisis without treating it as a crisis. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the guard, and we need to focus on equity. And if solutions within this system are so impossible to find, then maybe we should change the system itself. We have not come here to beg world leaders to care. You have ignored us in the past, and you will ignore us again. You will run out of access, and we are running out of time. We've come here to let you know that change is coming, whether you like it or not. The real power belongs to the people. 감사합니다.